solve this example. And then we have the opposite problem, which is called the provision problem. The provision problem is that everybody pays the full cost of their action, but they only get part of the benefits. I give you an example. Imagine you are a group of farmers and everybody used the same irrigation scheme. You understand irrigation scheme? Yeah, irrigation schemes take water from a source, and you have you have canals that convey water, and the scheme is all these canals taken together to transport and distribute water. This is an irrigation scheme, okay? And this irrigation scheme has to be maintained. And in traditional societies, you have, for instance, 1 or 2 days all over in 1 year where all people in the village have to go and spend the whole day cleaning the canals. If you don't clean the canals, there will start being some earth and doesn't work well. Okay? So if I'm a farmer in this village, I may say, okay, I will let other members of the village to clean the canal. I myself, I will do something else. And I will benefit from the fact that they have cleaned the canal, but I didn't participate in the cleaning. So in these villages, for sure you need to have some rules. Otherwise, if you say we should clean the canals and you don't have rules, nobody will come to clean the canal. Okay? So, this is one example. But another example is defining rules for managing natural resources. Okay? Let's say, for instance, who's in charge of organizing the negotiation for limiting the use of emission of greenhouse gases? Okay? Somebody has to take care of that. And once we have rules to manage greenhouse gases, everybody will benefit from these rules. But it takes time and energy to build up these rules. Okay? So many countries may say, okay, I don't take initiative and I let other people invest in all this, in building rules. So we have these two problems, but actually they are the same. Here, if nothing is done, the resource will be overexploited. Here, if nothing is done, then nobody will invest in the common good. Okay? Questions? No? Clear? Okay, so I'll come back to this very famous article. This is a very interesting article because this is one of the, in this area, one of the most quoted articles all over the world. But most of papers quoting this article is to criticize this paper. So what was said the paper by Hardin? Hardin say, okay, so Hardin basically, in this article, he talks about this story, and he says, okay, so the story is that people are not able to manage these resources. It's doomed to catastrophe. It's doomed to failure. Okay, so what he said that when you have commons, and he was referring to the commons in United Kingdom in the 19th, 20th century, this leads to what we are calling open access. And a quotation from this paper, the conclusion reached by each and every rational held man sharing a common, this is a tragedy. Each man is locked into a system that compels him to increase his earth without limits in a world that is limited. Real is the destination toward which all men rush, each pursuing his own main interest in a society that believes in the freedom of the commons. Okay? Freedom in the commons brings ruin to all. So, it says it doesn't work. A common is an open resource. So, two solutions. One is the state take over, the state will manage. And the second situation is we define individual property rights. So, okay, we have 10 hectares, we put fences here, and we give to each herder a small share of the commons, and everybody will have its own private land, and we won't have any more problems of the commons. Yeah? These are the two solutions that he proposed. What do you think about these two solutions? They are great? Which one is best? The state management or the definition of private property right? The first one, why?
Because centralized is the best solution. Because when someone has power, means the government here in this side, the government itself, the one that has the power, means like the president in the Philippines, that he got the power to decide this and this, and all the citizens can just all follow the rules, and that's it. It's because of the power.
Okay, so you promote the first because the state has much more power. Do you everybody agrees, or you have people that prefer market here and for property right? Yeah, and once you have property right, you can have market, because once I have my own piece of land, I can sell it, I can buy more, etc., etc. Okay, so somebody to promote property rights.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why you want to promote property rights?
Because when it gives the open access to other one that they can control. Property right means that people can control the property and can sell or can charge, can take benefit from that land. So anyone cannot access to that resource by their own. They need to pay, and so the shift will limited.
Okay. So actually, we had both situations. If we look at situations all over the world, we had both changes. Many countries around the world in the 60s, 70s said that, for instance, forest management should not be managed by villages, but should be managed by the state. It was the case in India, for instance. Actually, in most cases, it was a complete failure, because on paper the state has power, but in practice, most often, you don't have sufficient public civil servants to control what's happening in the forest. So many of these forests actually became a situation of open access in practice. There are a few cases of definition of private property right. One is I think in US or in Europe you have now property rights for emission of greenhouse gas, and you have companies have a right for an emission of gas, and they can trade this right with other companies. Okay, so we still have some examples. But these two solutions actually are not very satisfying. The first one, because in practice, most often the state doesn't have the power to control what's happening, and doesn't have enough people. You can't put a policeman behind every user. And the second idea of defining property rights, usually this situation would be much too costly to implement. I mean, if I have a common here and I want to put some fences, in many cases it will be very expensive. Okay, but it's possible. So now come to another person, Ostrom. So Ostrom, somebody heard about Ostrom? Elina Ostrom? No? Okay. So she started a work in the 90s, and she tried to identify these famous common pool resources and she identified places where these resources were managed by users themselves in a sustainable way. And she identified cases, aquifers in California, fisheries in Sri Lanka, schemes in the Philippines, where users had defined rules themselves to manage the resource in a sustainable way. Okay? And in some cases, like I think she also studied pastures in Switzerland, she found places where users had been able to manage the resource in a sustainable way for several centuries. Okay? So in a very, and she tried to understand, so in these cases, what happened? Why these people managed to find solution to these problems? What kind of rules people decided to make sure that we would stay here, and being here, nobody would move to this situation. Okay? How can people here sit together, discuss, and which kind of rules they can design to stay in this optimal situation? Okay? So, she was trying to find this recipe, what would be the best route to do that. And she did not find specific rules, but she identified a list of principles that were met in all the cases she studied. Like, for instance, maybe we will not read all of them, but define clear group boundaries. These systems where users were able to manage to define rules for sustainable management. In these systems, everybody should know exactly what are the boundaries of the systems. Okay, and not only the boundaries of the system, but also the boundaries of who is entitled to use the resource and who is not entitled to use the resource. Okay? Ensure that those affected by the rules can participate in modifying the rules. In all these systems you are studying, users were involved in the design and in the adaptation of the rules to new situations. Okay? And we should have a system of sanctions against rules violator. And you should also make sure that the rules that were designed by the users were actually respected and acknowledged by outside authorities. So she found that we are in the 90s, and so she could show the huge number of situations where actually users were able to sit together and discuss and find a solution. Because actually, in the story that I told you, this story makes sense if herders don't talk to each other. It will exactly happen like that if nobody talks to each other. But most probably in this village, where we are here, people can sit together, discuss, design rules to make sure that we don't move in this situation. Okay? Well, they may. It's not always the case. Okay? So, in the 90s, especially based on this kind of work, we had the beginning in the 60s, 70s. It was the age of state being in charge of the managing natural resources. From the 90s onwards, we had more and more all over the world new laws that say that users should participate in the management of the forest, of the water, etc., all over the world. Like, this was the age of like community management forest in India, in Nepal, water user associations in the Philippines, etc. Okay?